Welcome to the Powers of Mind Hour. I'm Brother Malcolm. Thank all of you for stopping by as we share some wonderful insights on Enlightenism and the greater power within you. The greater power in you is whole, perfect, and complete, colorless, faceless, and formless. What happens when you have faith but no ambition or no desire to let go of the mindset that's creating the faith? How do you change faith into knowing? That's what I'm talking about today. Things unseen. We're talking about the things unseen, which is what faith is predicated upon. But you can see what I'm talking about. Not with the toxic human eyes, but in consciousness. In consciousness, when you dwell and live in the consciousness within, then you communicate with a new language. You say, I am greater than the I that I created. Then you understand God does not create victims. That victims are created by beliefs from other people. And we are moving beyond dependency on others for our beliefs. We're talking about the greater power within that is related to God, consciousness. I remember a story when I was a kid, and there was this man that had great faith. Great faith. And at least from all outwardly appearances, he was a very faithful, God-fearing, God-serving person. He was very virtuous as far as people could tell. He prayed all the time, read the Bible all the time. He was an upright person. Someone asked him one day, why do you pray so much and why do you have faith? He said, I have faith because I believe that God is going to make things better down the road. He's going to make things better for us. And so I have this faith because I want to be present when things get better. So what are you doing to make things better? He said, I'm praying. I have faith. That's what I'm doing to make things better. I'm placing everything in God's hands. God's going to change it. And I remember that story was like a deeply impressed on my mind. And as I worked through my mind and my consciousness over the years, it's remained there in the forefront of my mind that people have faith that God is going to make things better. God is going to make things better. We have faith. Then you can say, where is the God that's going to make things better? Is the God in you or somewhere else? See, when we then accept what we're talking about with Enlightenism, then we accept God is in you. Aha! Now you must make things better in your own life. See, when you change yourself, you heard people talk about it all the time. We're going to change yourself first. Well, it's a lot of talk. In many instances, there's no real activity. Because you don't really change yourself until you let go of your dependency on the beliefs that caused you the pain in the first place. And not too many people are willing to let go of philosophy, psychology, sociology, and all of the things that they learn. They're not willing to let go of their religious faith or any of the things that they have been taught and believe in. They're unwilling to do it. So how does the change happen? Well, it doesn't. Then we become complacent. And we're expecting the greater power to act on our behalf because of our unwillingness to let go of our dependency on what other people have taught us. That there is some type of favoritism, that we didn't create this world, so we don't even really understand why we're here. We're just here. And so then we think that let's just run the place because we're here. Let's just make up a lot of things as we go along so that we can live together. But when you think about creation, you think about yourself. You are part of creation, but you're also a creator because we create things every day. When you have seen for yourself, not with the human eye, but with the enlightenism eye in consciousness, the greater power of God for yourself, then it's no longer unseen. See, it's no longer unseen. You've seen it. Your faith has to bring you to the place of seeing for yourself. But you can't see with the toxic eyes. Because the toxic eyes sees things coming from a belief system that's in you. And that belief system will not allow you to see what I'm talking about. The conscience of truth in you, the God in you. You can't see it. And not live. You've heard that before. You cannot look up on the consciousness and live. So this other part of you must die in order for you to see. I'm not talking about the form dying. I'm talking about the mind, the consciousness dying. The toxic illusions dying. So that you're able to discover the difference between faith and knowing. Two different things. With one, you're expecting someone else to free you of your problems. That's the faith that we've been told about taught for us to believe. This is the faith that people have when they're victims or slaves. A faith that another power is going to free you from your unwillingness to free yourself. When you get into the knowing of what I am talking about, and you must discover for yourself, you've cleansed your mind. You've changed your domicile of where you're living. And when you begin to live in consciousness, then you see things that are unseen. People cannot see the things in the illusions. In the world of illusions, you cannot see. You must lose your dependency of living in the world of illusions and enter into the world of consciousness. God's world. Where now there are no more mysteries. See, there are no mysteries when you discover that the greater power of God is in you. See, now all the mysteries disappear. And that there's a process for you to connect with this power. And that is to give up all of your beliefs about what other people have told you about who you are. About your gender, your race, and color, and all of these other things. To let them go. Well, the world says we don't want to let them go. We want to try to incorporate, make things congruent with the spiritual and the material. We want them to be together, in harmony, to exist in harmony. We want to believe in the God of wealth and fame, And then we still want to get to the peace, the serenity of the God that we've heard about. So we want all of that. But we're unwilling to let go. We, we're, we're wanting somebody to give us freedom, and you were born with freedom. When you understand that the power is within you, then the power to change is within you. And when you truly change, then you understand it's not your responsibility to change this world because you didn't create it. At least you're not aware of being a part of the creation of this world. You're just a resident in the world, temporary resident, living in a world with all type of pain and confusion in your life, and believing that you don't have the power within you to overcome the pain and suffering in your life. But when you decide to go on the inward journey and discover for yourself the consciousness of truth, which is the God in you, that you are greater than you believed that you were, and or that you are, and what others have taught you. That's a great feeling, folks, because now the victim in you is dying. And when the victim in you dies, the enlightenism in you lives. It lives in you, in your activities. When the consciousness is one with the truth about who you are, then everything that comes from you must come from that consciousness. Why? Because there is no other. You burn down the house of illusions in order to live in the house of enlightenism. You have to burn down one domicile in order to live in another. And once you live in the other domicile, in the enlightenism mindset, then the other one is gone. And you don't have any furniture, any beliefs in you about being a victim and things unseen. We're getting to the point of the things that are unseen becoming seen. You can see with different eyes, not the human toxic eyes, but the eyes that your faith brought you to on the journey. You had enough faith in your desire to connect to a power that's greater than you. And you were willing to go on the inward journey. And then faith becomes knowing. You see the unseen, things that you could not see in the illusions, because we're blinded by the illusions and we believe the illusions are real. We're blind by politics. We're blind by religion. So much in dominance over other people. All of those things separate you from your power sources in you. And you transfer your actions and your activities to another power source. And then that power source is where you're living. I don't care what you want to say. No matter how many times the man read the Bible and had faith, and outwardly people thought he had a virtuous life, what he was missing in his life was seeing the things unseen that he had not discovered for himself. The things that he believed in came from someone else, and he believed that the power was outside and that he had permission to be a victim in his behavior and his activities. And that's a contradiction. You cannot enslave God to consciousness in you. There is no power that humans can build in the world that can enslave the consciousness that I am talking about. It transcends jail cells and cages, ghettos, and all of the other things that we believe limit our power to be ourselves. But one thing is for sure, folks, and you can count on this. Why? Because you can count on yourself. You can trust yourself to understand that you are greater than the way you have been taught to think about yourself. And this greatness comes from self-discovery. You have to discover it. You have to let go of this stuff outside about people are telling you things about unseen. They're unseen because they didn't see them. Other people didn't see them. But that doesn't mean they're hidden. It just means you have to discover it for yourself. Discover for yourself who you are aware of being. Transform your life by trusting yourself and understanding that you are greater than the I that you have created. Have a great day. Check back with me on the next broadcast. Have a great day, folks.